everybody. Welcome to the first of 4 information center sessions for the 2022 Gold Nugget Triathlon. My name is Kristen Fulmar. I'm one of the co-race directors along with Missy Roberts, who will be doing a bulk of the presentation tonight. We are super excited to be back to an in-person event and then also still offering the virtual options as well. So we'll go through some housekeeping in tonight's agenda and an introduction from Mary Cox, our sponsor of these information sessions, and then we'll dive into the meat of the content tonight. So we'll do a little bit of housekeeping and event overview. Missy will go into the nitty gritty and the details of the registration process and the deadlines, and then other items with the registration, such as lane bids and teams and charity, and our estimated swim times and other things. And then we'll have time for Q&A at the end as well. Before we jump in, we've got Mary Cox on here. You probably heard us all chatting it up before we got started, but this new series of racer information sessions, will have 4 in total, are generously sponsored by Mary Cox and the real estate team and Remax Dynamic Properties. And we thought, she's a fellow racer, and thought we'd like to have her share a few words. And Mary, we really thank you for your support of these. They're really, really helpful for the folks who want to get some additional information.
That's great. Well, I am really excited again to be an in-person event, and I've loved this event every single year. And I've been sponsoring it in different ways for many years, and I was glad to be able to do this as part of my sponsor. I love the race. It's challenging, it's rewarding, and most of all, the camaraderie between the fellow racers is just really great. It's such a positive experience. So I'm super happy to be here, and Kristen and Missy are awesome. So thanks much.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Mary. We couldn't do it without partners like you, and we always love it when our partners get to be participants as well. So just a little bit of housekeeping for tonight. We're doing this in a webinar format. We set these up because not knowing what our audience count would be for each of these. So we have everybody in listen mode only, and then videos suppressed. That's not because we don't want to see everybody and chat it up with everybody, but when we have a larger audience, we want to make sure that everybody has a good listening experience. You can use the chat or Q&A box at the bottom of your screen to ask questions. You can do that anytime throughout tonight's session. If it's something that we think we can adequately stop and answer, or it flows with what we're discussing in the presentation, we'll try our best to answer it right there. If not, we'll work to get to that at the end in our 10 to 15 minutes of Q&A. When we get to the end, we might unmute people if we need some clarification on questions, or if there's something that requires a little bit more dialogue. If we don't have an answer to something, we will circle back and make sure that we get the answer for folks afterwards. As I noted, this is the first of 4 of these sessions. On the homepage of the GNT website, there's a box in our homepage announcements for these sessions. We will have 3 more, one on March 23rd, which will cover the snake swim format. We anticipate there will be lots of interest in learning more about that format that we will be doing again this year, similar to what we did last year in 2021. Moving ahead to April 20th, just a little under a month away from the race date, we'll cover the bike course, the run course, and the transition areas. And then May 3rd, leading up to the race week, we'll kind of go through the timeline, bib pickups, all the things that you need to know to get ready and really enjoy and have the best experience that you can throughout the race week and leading up to race day. So just kind of hopefully you're here, that you're getting our email blasts. If you're not, you can sign up for those on the GNT website. There's a spot there to sign up to receive those. But hopefully you know the event overview. We're offering both an in-person event back to our 1,650 registrant limit, racer limit, with our course back at Bartlett High School, with that finish at Penna Park. We are also offering virtual events like we did last year. We're offering a virtual triathlon and a virtual duathlon. And then, as in past years, we will have a wait list available. We can go as high as 500 racers with that. That'll open up once registration fills up. And then we will do our best to start clearing folks from the wait list. Missy will talk about those dates and what that schedule looks like. So just to recap on the race distances this year, so the in-person and the virtual triathlon, the swim will be 400 yards this year, different than the traditional 500 yards, and that's a result of our new snake swim format that we're doing this year. That format allows us to kind of spread people out on the deck a little bit, help manage some COVID measures still as we return back to a full person event. So the swim will be 400 yards. Some people I think are going to be excited about that. The bike will be that 12-mile course from Bartlett out to T2 past on Arctic Valley Road, and then the 3.5-mile run back to Penna Park. The virtual duathlon will be a 1.2-mile run, 12-mile bike, and a 3.5-mile run. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Missy. Missy and I, as co-race directors, we kind of divide and conquer different aspects of the event, and she is the registration guru and the one who all of you interface with, and she knows all the ins and outs and is going to share those with you here tonight.
All right. Hi, everybody. As Kristen mentioned, I'm Missy, and I am super excited to be here tonight because it means that we have another Gold Nugget Triathlon coming up, which is really exciting. Ever since we had to cancel in 2020, it's been most difficult. Last year, we only had 450 in the live event. And so this year, we are really excited to move on up to that old number of 1,650 fine women who will be participating in this year's event. So I think we're going to start off by, and as Kristen mentioned, my wheelhouse is part of my wheelhouse, or one of the many things in my wheelhouse is registration. And so I know a lot about the registration, and if you have any questions, as Kristen mentioned earlier, please throw them into the chat. She's going to try to answer them while I talk about them. I might go through them a bit faster as I get more and more excited. I'll try not to, but please send her those questions. And then of course, at the end, if we have time, I think Kristen's going to open it up to Q&A. But most importantly, we are always available at info@goldnuggettriathlon.com. So you can always send us a question and we will try to get back to you as soon as we can. We cannot promise that we will be we will do a good job of getting back to you quickly the closer and closer and closer we get to the event. So a week out, it's a little bit more difficult. So the key dates for this year's registration, obviously, I think most people have probably been on the website and seen this. Our website really has a great amount of information. March 1st at 8 p.m. it opens up for pre-registration, or phase 1 as we call it. March 2nd at 8 p.m. opens up for full registration, or phase 2. And again, we're going to go over each one of these in detail here further through on the slides. March 15th, again at 8 p.m., is the deadline to complete your full registration if you made it through the pre-registration phase. Our registration clearing will begin, our wait list will begin clearing on March 15th, and registration is completely closed on April 12th. So I'm sure this is the part that everybody's the most nervous about, but don't be, or the most excited about, however you want to look at it. The fourth phase to a triathlon, which is our pre-registration phase 1. So in this process, we use a platform called Run Sign Up, and many of you may be familiar with this, and maybe some of you aren't. It's nothing to be concerned about. It's all platforms are very, very similar, but Gold Nugget has been using this platform, as well as Eagle River Tri, for probably the last several years. I would say probably the last 3 or 4 years. So in your pre-registration phase, which again opens March 1st at 8 p.m., you do not have to have a Run Sign Up account. But if you so desire to have your account already set up, you can do so by going to runsignup.com and then clicking on the profile at the very top here, this little person's face right here, and then clicking on create an account. So you can create an account. Now, just to, if you have in the past already signed up for Gold Nugget or for Eagle River Try or for any recent in the last couple of years, Skinny Raven events, you probably already have an account with Run Sign Up. So you're already a step ahead. Again, you don't have to have this for phase one, but it will eliminate one of the steps that you have to go through. So opening night, everybody's nervous. They're waiting for the drum roll. That 8 p.m., trust me, Kristen and I used to sit at my kitchen table and do the same thing. Here we go. And then we just watch the numbers just click off very quickly. So opening night, again, March 1st, 8 p.m. The first thing that you are going to see, or the first place you're going to go to, is goldnuggettriathlon.com/registration. You can get through it through the menus as you click through the site, but that's the quickest way to get there. Right here underneath, whoops, this registration button right here, there will be a button that we place there that will be loaded just about 5 minutes before 8 o'clock. It's not going to work until 8 o'clock, but it'll be loaded on there so that you'll have plenty of time, and you will click on that button. There's no link coming to you in an email. So as in past years, probably 3 years ago, you would have received a link in the mail that would have allowed you to click on that and go straight into the registration process. No longer is that needed. You will be able to simply click on the button that says register here, and that will take you right to the registration site. The first thing you're going to see is a screen that looks just like this. It gives you the opportunity to pre-register, or it gives you the opportunity to wait list. You will not want to click on the wait list. The wait list will not even be available to click on and go through until we have sold out the pre-registration phase. I think in past years, you've been able to click onto the wait list, sign up for the wait list really quickly, and then come back to the pre-reg state. So if you didn't make it through pre-registration, you were already on the wait list. That the system doesn't work that way. And so that the registration piece of it will not be open, but you'll click on sign up in pre-registration. Now, if you do not have a Run Sign Up account, if you were not able to go in early and do that, no worries. You still have the opportunity to do that here. In most cases, you're going to click on the Me button because that's who you're registering for. You're going to enter your first and last name, your email, and you're going to confirm your email. And that's going to automatically set up an account and take you to the next step. If by chance you already have an account, you're going to get a screen that looks like this. Now, this is mine. In this particular case, somehow I've set up within my Run Sign Up account, I'm in there twice. I must think I'm really special. I don't know how I did that, but I did. But I also have my daughter. You might have multiple people. You might have every child in your household in there. You might have your husband. You might have your boyfriend. You might have your friends that you actually helped register an event for it previously. This is also, just to let you know, if you have a whole bunch of people in yours and you really don't need them anymore, you can go to your Run Sign Up account in your profile and you can get rid of some of those. Prior to me doing this presentation, I had about 4 other people that I'm just friends with, but I had helped register them at some point in time. So they ended up inside it as one of my people in my account. So you're able to clean it up here as well. So in this case, I'm going to click on myself. And it's going to take me to a waiver screen. This particular waiver is not a USAT waiver. You're going to get that during another process. In fact, you're going to get during the full registration process, you're probably going to get a couple different waivers. This particular waiver specifically talks about packet pickup and bib pickup and our policy and the importance of you presenting a driver's license at the time of registration. If you're a USAT member, you need to show us your USAT card or at least your membership number, et cetera. So there's just a few things on there. There's also some information in regards to the virtual registration swag policy and the shipping timelines for those individuals who have signed up for that event. most likely you're going to be in such a big hurry, you're not even going to care about that waiver. You're going to check this box right over here in the corner, and you're going to hit continue. Now, that waiver is really important. So we will have information from that waiver on the website. In fact, I think the majority of it is already there, but Kristen, we should probably just make sure that all that information is. I'm pretty certain that it is. So you will be able to go back to the website and find out what exactly was that virtual swag timeline, or what exactly was the information or the policy I need to follow for packet pickup and bib. But you're gonna select continue.
Hey, Missy, can I just make one comment
Absolutely.
there? With the waivers, if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I've done a run sign up event, they have to scroll all the way through the waiver in order to be able to advance, or do they?
This particular one, I do not believe you have to.
Okay, but
Yeah.
if you run into a problem and it doesn't take it, just understand you have to scroll through the whole
Yeah.
waiver.
Good point.
Yeah.
And you don't even actually have to re-sign your name in or your email address like you do in some waivers. All you have to do is just click this checkbox right here and then hit continue. It takes you to this last screen. So this last screen right here is a really important one for you to remember. It does have your information here. It shows it's a zero amount because there is no charge, but this is a screenshot. And so you're seeing the entire page. However, the really important thing is that when you're online registering, it's cut off right about here. If you do not scroll down and hit, I agree to the refund policy, which is another waiver, and complete registration, it will not go through. So please, 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 when you get to this last screen, it's not the last screen. You're going to think it is because the registration card is 0 and you're like, woohoo, I got it. But you don't. Scroll all the way down, agree to the refund policy, complete registration. Then you're going to get, well, this is actually, I'm sorry, this is the slide I should have showed you. Make sure you scroll down, make sure that you click on this. It is way down on the bottom of that page. And if you miss that, your registration will not go through. And it has happened a number of times, not just in pre-registration, but in full registration. So we want to make sure that you're cognizant of that and that you're a step ahead of everybody else who might not have been able to join us tonight, that they understand that that's a really important process to complete. So once you've completed that, then you're going to get this congratulations. If you have not registered until you see this congratulations on the screen. Once you see that, you are absolutely done with pre-registration and you have made it. You are good to go. You will also receive an email confirming that you have pre-registered. The registration itself is much, much longer than this. I just wanted to show you what it's going to look like. It'll have our really cool icons for this year, from this year's logo, registration confirmation, and then it'll have some information in regards to pre-registration and what you need to do for full registration. But once you get that, congratulations, and you've received this registration email, you are golden. Now, remember, if you do not see this registration confirmation in your inbox, please look in your spam or junk box because they are or junk mail because they are there. It is there someplace. Unless, of course, you accidentally spelled your email wrong and then they've gone someplace else, which I hope nobody does. However, there is a way of whitelisting, correct, Kristen?
Say that again. Whitelisting. Oh, yeah, you should be able to go to your spam or junk preferences and whitelist the gold nugget domain. I would whitelist the whole domain because then you won't miss anything from e-blasts, email confirmations, volunteer confirmations, etc.
All right. So that's pre-registration. You've made it through pre-registration, and now we are at the full registration, or what we call phase 2. So you can almost relax, not quite, but you can almost relax. Somewhere around 7:45 the next night, March 2nd, you will receive another email that has a unique registration link for you to fully register. It's only good for you as the pre-registrant, and it is only good for one use. You can take as long as you want to use this, I mean, until the deadline. However, full registration opens at 8 p.m. and there are certain things that will be available, such as lane bids during that pre-reg phase that sell out fast. So if you're one of those who wants to receive or purchase a lane bid, you will want to make sure that you're there at 8 p.m. when it opens. If not, you can actually wait a couple days and just not worry about it. The registration will completely close on March 15th, again at 8 p.m. And that seems like a lot of time. You have 13 days to actually fully register, use that link and fully register. But oftentimes we have found that people have waited until the last minute, and it just seems like it always happens this way, but you wait until the last minute and all of a sudden your internet goes down, or you're over at a friend's house and you try to log on your phone and you can't log on. And all of a sudden it's 8:01 and you haven't registered. And so unfortunately, registration closes at 8. At 8:01, if you have not registered, you're not able to use that link any longer. So please, please, please do not wait until the very last minute to register, because it only creates more frustrations for you. And then we feel really bad that you weren't able to get into the event via the use of that link. If you have any specific questions, again, you can always email us at info@goldnuggettriathlon.com. We're always available and we'll do everything that we can to either help you or direct you to where you might be able to find it on the website. If you miss the March 15th deadline to complete your registration, but you still really want to race, no problem. Go back to the registration page and register for the wait list. Now, mind you, the wait list has been open since May 1st, after that first 1,650 individuals registered. Then that wait list became open. So people have been registering on the wait list all this time. So make sure you get in there right away and you get your name added to that wait list. The wait list will remain open until April 12th, when all of registration closes. So if I was to clear somebody on April 12th, they would have 24 hours, but registration itself will be closed on April 12th. I hope that's clear. Does that make sense? Did that make sense to you, Kristen?
It did.
Perfect. Okay, moving on. Again, there is the same button when you register for the full registration. You, at the very, very end, there'll be a shopping cart with what you owe. You must click, even though you've put all your credit card information in and everything right there is golden and it spells it out and everything looks great, please, please, you must scroll all the way down to the bottom of that page and click complete registration. That's the only way the registration will actually solidify and it'll actually go through. So please, please make sure that you've clicked that and it's gone all the way through. Again, after you click on that, you will receive a congratulations and you will receive an email registration confirmation. Okay, again, I think I've covered this a little bit already, but the wait list will not be open during the pre-registration phase 1 phase. However, it will open up immediately after we've sold out with the 1,650 racers. We will begin clearing names off of that wait list on March 15th after 8 p.m. after the full registration closes. So there's pre-reg, then there's the full registration, and whoever has not registered, and there's usually always anywhere from 50 to 150, depending on the year, that just don't make it from pre-reg, or there's duplicates, to the full reg. Then we will start clearing names right away off of the wait list. So that first couple days, we will probably have a large group that clears. And then after that, it's onesie, twosies as people notify us and let us know that they're just no longer able or available to race. And then we try to fill their spot with the wait lister. The one thing I do really want to emphasize is that when your name is cleared off of a wait list, you will receive a link to register via email, but you will only have 24 hours for that link to work. And I know that for a lot of you, that might be really difficult, that are just unable to check your emails every single day, or maybe you're just not the type of person that sits on their emails like I do. However, during that particular time, you will want to make sure that if you're not watching it, somebody is watching it for you. So when that email comes in, you get it right away and you use that link. Otherwise, within 24 hours, that link too will expire. And if you wanted to then choose to register again, you will have to sign up again on the wait list. The wait list will close on April 12th. I think we've mentioned that a couple times. Okay, so there's other registration items. When you get to the full registration, you're going to be asked a whole cadre of questions, from your emergency contact to what are the things that you want the announcer to know about you, to all sorts of things. And so we're going to go over some details of those. The first one that we want to talk about is the snake swim. And we're going to go into that in detail here shortly, estimated swim times and how we're going to do bib assignments. We're also going to talk about the lane bid purchases and exactly what that entails. Our mother, daughter, and our tri-gen teams. I'm not sure if people really realize, but tri-gen teams mean 3 generations of racers. And in the last, I believe in 2000, I don't even know about 2021. I'm kind of writing that off in the back of my head. No, I'm not really. But in 2019, I believe we had 3 or 4 tri-gen teams. So think about what that means. That means we have some 80-year-olds racing with some 10-year-olds in a family. And that's pretty special. We'll also have to talk about our other team types, and then quickly, just briefly on our charity. So let's go into each one of those in detail. So as Kristen mentioned earlier, the snake swim is only 400 yards. It's not the typical 500 yards that we have done in years past. A snake swim means that we're going to start on one end of the pool. We're going to jump into the pool. We're going to swim down that lane. We're going to turn around and come back that same lane. We're going to cross under the lane bid markers. What's that called?
The lane markers, oh my God, what do you call them? Yeah, lane markers.
Lane markers. You're going to crawl underneath that lane marker. You're going to go down, back up underneath the lane marker, and you're going to do that in all 8 lanes. There's 8 lanes at Bartlett High School. You're going to do that. So it's 25 down, 50 up, underneath, 25 down, 50 up. And so those 8 lanes totals that 400 yards. That's why it is changed from the 500 to the 400. Last year, for example, we had a snake swim. It went really, really well. And it was held at Eagle River or Chugiak High School pool. They only have 6. So that meant that particular event was a 300-yard swim. The nice thing about it, and there is passing available, which we're going to discuss the snake swim at the next session, I think. Is that right?
Yeah,
the next session is March 23rd. Yeah. So we'll go into some of this in detail, and we'll show you some maps, and we'll sort of take away maybe any fear that you had doing a snake swim. It's actually not a bad thing at all. It can actually be really fun, and you can pass. So we'll talk a little bit more about that in March. Kristen.
And we'll share, like in March, we'll actually share some video from our event last year that of the snake swim. ConocoPhillips generously produces a video for us each year, and they captured some good imagery from that, or good video from that too.
Now, the snake swim will be held on both ends of the pool at Bartlett. So if you're new and if you've never been to Bartlett, there's actually 2 pools under one roof. One's a deep end and one's a shallow end pool. And the snake swim will start on both ends of the pool. The nice thing is that the end that you're going to get out of, there is a ladder there. So Bartlett's pool is not the easiest to just push off and jump out of. And a lot of women have issues with that because it's not easy to push yourself up and off. But anybody who wants it, they will have a ladder available to them this year. So that's a major bonus.
Yeah.
We will be asking you during registration for your estimated swim times. And the reason for that is that we will actually be assigning bibs and start waves by those estimated swim times. So it's really, really important that you have an accurate estimate of your 400-yard swim, not a 300-yard swim and not a 500-yard swim, but a 400-yard swim. That's really important. Now, if you choose a 4-minute, 5-minute, 10-minute, whatever the case it might be, estimated time for your 400-yard, and you then decide, I'm going to start swimming, and you swim for several weeks and you realize I can really do this a lot faster, or, you know, I'm simply not in shape. I haven't been in the pool since COVID 2020. My time is really slower. You will be able to go back into your registration profile through Run Sign Up, and you will be able to manage your own registration and update your swim time. However, April 1 is the deadline to do that. And again, on March 23rd, we're going to go into this in detail. You'll also be asked if you prefer swimming in the shallow end, the deep end, or you know what, I really don't care what end I'm on, just give me an end. We will do everything we can to accommodate your request, but I will share with you that there is simply no guarantees. There are so many different caveats that take place in our bib assignments that there's just no guarantee we can give everybody 100% of what they want, but we will certainly do our best. And then come the 1st or 2nd of April, we'll start looking at bib assignments via your estimated swim times. And it's not just bib assignments, it's swim start times that we're going to assign. And what I mean by that is it does not mean that all the fast swimmers are going to go first and all the really slow swimmers are going to go last. We will have waves of swimmers. So we're going to have waves of like-timed swimmers that will go out, and then we're going to have another wave probably of maybe in between and maybe some slow, and then back to the fast. We're going to mix it up. So it's not just going to be the fast all the way down to the slow. There will be some mix up there. And again, not to sound like a broken record, but we'll go through that in detail on March 23rd. Or if you have a question right now, you can throw it out to Kristen, because I think she's doing I kind of semi see her fingers really happily answering all those questions. All right, so lane bids. What is a lane bid? For those of you who have maybe never been to the done the Gold Nugget Triathlon. In the past, we've sold 75 to 85 lane bids. Those individuals get to split a lane. In the past, we've circle swam, but the lane bidders, they got to split a lane. Same thing here. However, this year, we've upped those available spots to 240 lane bids, and we've dropped the price down to $100, which is a significant it's been a significant discount to what it has been in past years. So if you were to purchase one of those, you will be splitting a lane and not doing the snake swim. You also will only be swimming on the shallow end. So it's just the way we're going to set the stage up this year. All lane bidders will start on the shallow end. You'll start about 9:15 after the elite racers go. And we anticipate that all those lane bids will be out of the shallow end of swimming by 12:30. And still, even though they are splitting the lane, they will still be doing a 400-yard swim. So teams, mother, daughter, and tri-gen teams, if you're requesting to go together, which some moms and daughters want to swim together, some moms and daughters don't care. Some do it specifically because they're carpooling. Just remember that if you do request to go together as a mother-daughter team or a tri-gen team, the slowest swim in that group is what we will use to assign you a bib or a swim time. And then for teams in the past, our teams have consisted of either a business category, so you all have to work in the same business, not the same industry, but in the same business, in the same company, or you have to be going to the same school. I think it's the same school, right, Kristen?
Yeah.
You can't just, yeah,
No,
same
yeah,
school.
same school. Yep.
or open. It's just 5 of your very best friends or 10 of your best friends that all want to just sort of become a team. There has to be 5 members to constitute a team. And just so you know, this year we are not able to send team members together. So it's just impossible with all the different caveats that are going on to do bib assignments. Teams will not be assigned together. So we do a charity each year, at least we have for the last couple of years. The board selects a local nonprofit group to support. That will be launched during the full registration phase come March 2nd. Racers can make a donation of any kind for any amount. And you don't have to. If you're not comfortable doing that, that's all right as well. The GNT board, though, will match up to a designated amount, which will be part of the description in the charity that's on the website, of all the donations that, up to a certain amount of all the donations that have been received. Last year, we donated to
Claire House, I think it was. Gosh, all of a sudden I think it was Claire House.
I believe it was
99%
Claire
sure.
House.
Yes, sorry. I feel terrible. All of a sudden
And I believe between all the donations, and last year GNT donated up to a $5,000 match. And I believe that we donated, I want to
I
say,
can tell you exactly. I just looked
good.
it up here. Yes.
Perfect.
So it was $11,084. Racers contributed $6,084 of that, and the GNT was $5,000. They were just, she was just tickled pink. She just, I'm reading it here from her that they were just tickled pink by that support.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing what the GNT community does for the communities out there. So thank you for all you guys do for that. And remember, if come that night when you're registering, you just weren't able to do it, but you've thought about it and you really do want to donate, you can come back again through your run sign up profile, manage your registration and donate. So you have opportunities to do that afterwards as well. All right, so that is a quick and dirty pre-reg, full reg wait list. You got it all.
So I'm thinking here we've got a few questions that have come through in the chat. I think those are all answered. What we can do if we want is you can put questions in the chat, but if you also want to raise your hand, I can allow you to unmute and ask your question. I unfortunately can't unmute everybody all at once in this format, but if you raise your hand, we'd be more than happy for you to ask your question just verbally if you don't want to put it in the chat. So Jeannie Fisher has a question on where will the virtual people swim?
Oh, great question. So virtual is just that. You can do it anywhere you want, at any time you want, on any day you want. You can do the swim one day and the bike another day and the run another day, or you can do all 3 of them at the same time. But it's totally up to you. So you would choose wherever it is that you want to swim. If you want to go swim in Campbell Lake with the Alaska Tri Club group, you can do that. If you want to just go to one of the pools, one of the Parks and Recs pools and swim, it's strictly wherever you want to do it at any location at any time. And you will take your own time and then you will self-time that, which there'll be notes on the website as to exactly how to submit your results.
And I'm going to give a little tease, spoiler alert here for those who are on the phone who might be signing up for the virtual event. Our race partner is Alaska Club is going to make opportunities available for our virtual participants to use their pools. So lots more details to come. We're still working out the logistics of getting that perk to our virtual registrants, but we're really excited about that partnership that we're going to have with them this year. So more to come on that. But again, you can, as Missy said, you can do it wherever you want, but we're going to have an avenue for you to have a place during race week to go swim.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great offering from them. Cheers to Alaska Club. Yeah.
Okay, come on, there's got to be more questions. We've been commenting that it's been like, we announced the snake swim and very few people said
Diane raised
anything.
her
Diane
hand.
raised her hand. All right, Diane, I'm gonna unmute you here. Give me 1 second here. There you go. You'll have to unmute yourself. When we do the allow talk, then you have to unmute yourself. All right, Diane, there you go.
Okay, there I go. My question is, my understanding is that during registration, you cannot sign, you have to sign up either for mother and daughter or tri-generation. Is that correct?
That is correct. You cannot do both. You can register for multiple mother-daughters. So if you have 2 daughters, you can register for a mother-daughter that puts you on 2 teams, but you cannot register for a tri-gen and a mother-daughter team.
Gotcha.
Thank you, though. That was a great question. We want more.
Oh, we got a couple more here. So someone's asking, why would someone want to actually lane bid? And you've said lane bid circle swim, so it's not circle swim, it's a lane bid split a lane. So you've got half that lane for yourself. And I'll just keep answering here if that's okay, Missy. But some people are not comfortable circle swimming or potentially having to pass or be passed. So that lane bid, it allows you to have a half a lane completely dedicated to yourself. You're just going up and down, back and forth on that half of your lane. So some people are more comfortable with that. Hope that answers your question. If it doesn't, please let us know. Here's a good question, Missy. Can mother-daughter team each of them pay for the lane bid and request to swim in the same lane?
Yes. Well, actually, let me step back there. I shouldn't say that. So you would not necessarily be requesting. There is a notes field about whether you, if you want, when you purchase your lane bids, there's 3 questions that are in the same box. One is to either be chosen as an elite racer or random, just anything, which would mean a snake swim, or purchase a lane bid. And then there's a box for comments down below. If you want to be with somebody, yes, you can put that in that comments field that you would like to be assigned with your daughter and what her name is, or your mother and what her name is. You will be assigned a bib number together. But when you get up and you go into line, you have to stand in line together, and you can try to hold off and get placed into a lane together. But remember, there's other people swimming, and as that person gets out, we have to move a swimmer right into that lane opening. So you might end up being next to each other, 2 lanes. You might not be in the same lane together. We will give you a bib number to where you at least are in line together, and so you're closer, but it does not necessarily mean you will be in the exact same lane together. But they will do the best that they can to allow that to work out, but there's no guarantees.
Great, thanks, Missy. There was a question on the teams, if a team can have less than 5, and no, the minimum number of people on a team is 5 to be considered a team, because there's team awards. So that's kind of what that's based off of.
And I'm going to have to follow up on that one, Kristen. I think that we decided. I'm not sure if we decided to do team awards.
Team awards or not. Okay.
So we're going to have to follow up on that one, and we'll put it on the website. I do know that we are not doing most improved this year.
Okay. Any other questions? You guys are making this way too easy. Is this because we're going back to what we know, and everyone's excited? So I'll so a couple things as we wrap up here. So first of all, if you have any questions as you go along, as Missy said, you can email info@goldnuggettriathlon.com. If you haven't already joined the Spirit of Alaska or Spirit of GNT Facebook group, we highly encourage you to get on Facebook, request to join the group. That's a great place. You can ask questions. Sometimes I chime in, Missy chimes in. Our fellow board member, Leah Keller, who's on tonight on the call with us, she is like the information guru and is so great about jumping on and asking questions. And fellow racers and members of the GNT community are great about answering questions. It is a really safe space to answer questions. There is no bad question. Each year, about a third of our participants are first-time racers. And many of us, including myself, the GNT was my first ever triathlon. It's just such a welcoming community. And so lean into folks for questions. But we are going to have more of these information sessions. So hopefully everyone on the call here makes it successfully through the registration process next month. And please join us on March 23rd for that session covering the snake swim. We'll also hopefully, assuming their schedules allow, have our swim directors, Jody and Signe, who will be on the call too to help answer questions. And then again, April 20th, we'll talk about the bike course, the run course, the transitions. Spring will be in the air by that point. Hopefully we're going to get some more winter after this warm up here this week, but we'll be to spring by April 20th. And then May 3rd, we'll do an overview of race week, bib pickups, final last minute things, bike drop off, etc.
Hey, Kristen, there's a couple questions in the Q&A.
Okay.
So somebody missed about the first 20 minutes. Are you recording?
We are recording. We didn't make them available last year, but we can look to do that. We'll do our best to do that and make that available on the GNT website.
Perfect. And our virtual participants counted in the 1650. And just to answer that one, no, they are not. So virtuals are all, and virtuals, it's unlimited. So what we'd really love you to do is get those emails going out to your old college buddies and your cousins and your aunts, and not your uncles maybe, but your aunts, and try to get as many as you can to do the event with you, even if they're thousands of miles away. Compete together, make it fun. We also have somebody that raised their hand.
Oh,
Anne.
All right, Anne, let's see here. Let me allow you to talk. There you go. You might have to unmute yourself if you're not. Oh, hold on here. Okay, and you can ask your question now. Sorry about that.
Yeah, actually, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to raise my hand.
Oh.
While I have you here, is there a t-shirt with the logo that goes out for the race?
Yes, there's a participant t-shirt, and where is that?
Oh, I don't know if we have, actually, if you go, hold on here 1 second.
Well, if there is one on the email confirmations.
Actually, if you just go back a couple of pages, yeah, right there, the logo's there.
Where? Oh yeah, right there.
Yeah, right there.
This one right here. And it's on sort of an emerald green t-shirt. It's really awesome. And are these icons just the cutest or what? I just love them.
I was very impressed with the logo, so I really wanted a t-shirt.
Yeah.
And
then all of the participants will also get a swim cap that has a variation of the logo on it as well. And then all participants will get a cool woven mesh backpack that will be their tutu transition bag. If you're racing live, if you're a virtual racer, you'll get those bags too with your swag in it, and that has the logo. We'll have the logo on it as well. There's a question here about snacks at the finish line. We will have finish line food. Our intent right now is that we're going to do it similar to how we did it last year, where we had a pack, a kind of a fun pack of snacks that all racers will be handed at the finish, as well as various hydration options.
And that's something I just want to bring up too, that that started because of COVID, where we pre-packaged the food and they were all even those items were packaged, and then we pre-packaged the items together. But we got really great compliments about that last year, because people just liked being able to grab one on the finish, and then they could just take it wherever they want. They can open it up, they can eat what they want when they want. They don't have to like walk over to another table to get a cut up orange or whatever. So, it's industry wide to the race directors that we've talked to. It has really sort of been something really positive that has come out.
Yeah. In fact, Missy and I did a race this summer where it was great as a racer experience. We were handed this snack pack at the end of the race, and we could kind of enjoy it at our own, our own pace. All right. Well, we are, let's see here. I want to make sure we didn't miss anything. Hold on here. It looks like we have something in the chat. Just want to make sure we didn't miss one more thing. Okay, it looks like we've got it all the questions answered here. Again, feel free to reach out or ask a question also in the GNT Facebook community. We'd like to take another opportunity to thank Mary Cox and her team for helping to support these. She is a wonderful partner of the Gold Nugget Triathlon, and look forward to seeing you at the next session. Everybody get their, hopefully you're already training, but get your fingers ready and your calendars marked for the pre-registration opening on March 1.
Thanks, everybody. That was fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.